Are you new to Trello? I'm starting a new hands-on series here on the channel all about essential Trello for beginners. So we're going to be starting that this week with a little bit of understanding of that Trello homepage as well as creating your first board. But before we dive into that, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring that little notification bell so that you never miss a tutorial or upload. Okay, so you're gonna start here on your homepage. Obviously, you're not gonna have all this stuff going on like I do. I use Trello for everything. But what you're gonna find here on the left are gonna be any workspaces that you've created. Probably only have one there right now, your initial one. It'll probably be named your name. You can rename them, by the way. Then you're going to have here your feed, and you want to think of this a little bit like a social media feed, only you actually care about all of it. You can interact with this stuff right here. You can dismiss it. This is kind of your notifications or your reminders feed. So if something was already done, you could mark it complete, like I'm going to do right here, or you could go ahead and dismiss it, right? And then over here on the right, you've got all of your starred boards, meaning the ones that you're more likely using on a regular basis, and you put a little star on them to make them easy to find and easy to access, okay? There are two places that you can create your first board from here. You could click down here, or you could start up here with this big blue button, which is what we're gonna do. So when you click that button, you have two options. You can create board, and this is gonna be creating it completely from scratch, so nothing will be on this board. Or you can start with a template. And Trello has a great catalog of templates that you can start from for all different kinds of things that you might be wanting to do. There's also a link below in the description to some of the templates that I have available. But we're going to go ahead and start with just a plain board for now from scratch. So we hit create board and we're going to name our board. And so let's call this my first board because that's what it is. Then we're going to choose our workspace, which, like I said, you probably only have one, but I'm going to go ahead and choose one of mine. And then we're going to look at visibility. And this is very important. So you have three options here. You have private, which is exactly what it sounds like. Nobody can see this board or edit it or do anything to it unless you specifically share it with them. So that's a great way to start when you're not totally sure yet what's going to be on a particular board. Workspace, anybody that you have added into your workspace is going to be able to see and edit this board. And public is exactly that. So while it is very unlikely that someone is going to stumble upon one of your boards just randomly on Google, it can happen. So I highly recommend that you don't make anything public unless you have a reason to do so. Another thing you want to think about when you're getting ready to create a board is what is the point of this board? What do I want to do with it? You don't necessarily need to know that before you actually create the board, but before you get going and building it out too far, you're definitely going to want to give that some thought. So let's go ahead and go with a workspace board and we'll hit create. And there you go. You've got your first board. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on here. And in the next video, I'm going to kind of take you around the board and explain what all this stuff is. But before you head over there, make sure you just pause here real quick and set up your first board so that you are right there with me hands-on as we move forward. The online tools for your business do not need to be complicated and overwhelming. It's time to let it be easy. I hope you liked that video, and more importantly, that you found it helpful. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel and sharing it with a fellow solopreneur. And make sure you check out the description for links to how we can connect and maybe even work together.